We're going to talk about biological changes associated with dementia and specifically with Alzheimer's. So it's definitely helpful to watch both of the videos if you can on biological changes. I think that will really help clarify this lesson. Also, definitely read the textbook here, and we won't go into all of the details, but I'll just teach you about the main things you need to know about biological underpinnings of Alzheimer's. So a lot of the changes that we see start in the brain, and specifically in the hippocampus, which is this brown area here, which is associated with memory. We see a lot of changes in the hippocampus region. And there's something called capsase theory, which explains these changes in the hippocampus. For some reason, there seems to be too much beta amyloid that's produced, which is a protein. So there's beta amyloid, and this in turn causes more capsases to be produced, which is an enzyme. So there's more capsase, there's more beta amyloid, then there's more capsase, and this capsase destroys the neurons. This enzyme destroys neurons, which is our brain cells, and this process is called apoptosis, which is cell death, right? So we have too much of this protein, some kind of enzyme ends up destroying our brain cells or our neurons, and that results in amyloid plaques, which is dead neuron trash. It's the accumulated waste products of dead neurons. So we have all this stuff in our hippocampus and in our brain cells, where in between the cells where there's these amyloid plaques. So this is a picture of these amyloid plaques. You can see these wiry things are neurons here, and among the neurons, between the neurons, you can see these amyloid plaques, this waste of other dead neurons that are just there. So, if you think of plaque with your teeth, we have plaque in our brain with Alzheimer's. All right, so just to review what a neuron is, all of you have taken psychobiology, but just to refresh your brains, right, we have a cell body in the neuron, and then we have an axon or a tail. And these neurons serve to transmit chemical and electrical signals from the body to the brain, and neurons are a core component of the nervous system. So in these axons, right, this tail part here, there's a support structure, and if you look at the very low-level biology of these axons, there are structures called microtubules. And these microtubules guide nutrients from the cell body to the ends of the axon, right? And tau is a particular protein that helps support the structure of the microtubules. However, in Alzheimer's, the tau chemistry changes for some reason, and that causes the microtubules to be unsupported, right? So it's like this nice structure, and then it disintegrates, and as a result, nerve fibers tangle and twist, causing these neurofibrillary tangles to form. So the two major things that happen in the brain with Alzheimer's that you need to know about is, one, there are amyloid plaques, right, accumulated waste products of dead neurons in between the neurons, and there's also neurofibrillary tangles even within the neuron structure, so within the axon. What's really interesting is that science has shown us that these changes in the brain actually occur 10 to 20 years even before behavioral symptoms are noticed. So if you look at this graph here, AD stands for Alzheimer's disease, MCI stands for mild cognitive impairment, and the yellow line is healthy aging. For those who later receive a clinical diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease, the changes in the brain, such as amyloid plaques and neurofibrillary tangles, can actually occur decades before symptoms actually show up. And it's particularly troubling if you look at a picture of the brain of someone healthy versus someone with Alzheimer's. You can see these gaps in the brain and just the shrinking of the cortex as well, because neurons are actually dying.